Can you hear that? The cicadas are so loud today. It's already extremely hot in Foshan. It's said that the highest degree today is 37 degrees Celsius. Terrifying. But still, I decided to film this video outdoor without air conditioning because I always think that as I walk, I move, my thoughts flow. So if you're new here, my name is Xiaoan Cao. I'm a writer, entrepreneur, and just someone thinking a lot about personal growth, meaningful living, and how to become who we truly want slowly. So I have been recently reflecting a lot about what we said last week in my last video. We said that a lot of happiness in life actually comes from harmonious relationships. And what decides whether a relationship is good or not is just based on two questions. First, do people genuinely want to be around you? The second, do people actually want to be more like you? So I started thinking, are there actually people in my life that can make me feel both things at the same time, who I truly want to spend time with, and quietly admire enough to think, oh, I want to be more like them? So I started to look at the biographies on my bookshelf. I love biographies, by the way, because unlike social media or interviews, biographies allowed you to see the whole life unfold, not just one successful moment. Because I think we should view life more like a marathon, not just a Snapchat, right? So this uncle keep looking at me. Okay, so life cannot be decided by just temporary success or failure. So talking about biographies, I realized that most of the biographies I own is about tech entrepreneurs. People like Jack Ma, Elon Musk, Steve Jobs. So I asked myself, do I really want to be more like them? In some way, yes. Career success, meaningful products, financial freedom, and a lot of people admire them. But on the other side, I realized I do not want their life fully because most of them seem very unbalanced. It's like they are working 20 hours a day. It's like work consumes almost everything. So the second question, do I really want to spend time with them? Well, according to most of the biographies, probably not, because many of them seem very self-centered. So generally speaking, I think they are not the best living example for me, for the life I truly want for myself. And in the past week, I finally thought of two people who made me feel very different. The first one is from a biography I recently read. It's written by Lin Yutang about Su Dongpo, and the name is The Gay Genius. So I learned something very funny from this biography, is that gay, except for the meaning we know now, is originally also mean joyful or cheerful. So the title actually means the joyful genius. So now I will not go deeply into the life of Su Dongpo because there are a lot to talk about. So Su Dongpo was lived 1,000 years ago. He's an extraordinary poet, politician, calligrapher, and painter. But what I admire most was not his achievements, it was how human he was. Actually, the life of Su Dongpo was very difficult. He was rapidly exiled into remote places, which is far away from political power. But everywhere he went, he can find more treasures in the ordinary life. It's like when he was exiled into southern China, he fell in love with lychees. Lychee is sweet, juicy fruit, which is also my favorite fruit. Yeah. And when he was exiled into Highland Island, he would cook with local fish and shrimp and brew his own wine. And it's like that. He always finds this little joy, precious in life. And then he will invite his friends over, drinking, eating, and writing poetry together. So no matter how harshly life treats them, he was never defeated spiritually. So that kind of optimism, I think, make me admire him deeply. And there is another reason too. It's because he felt very real. Actually, most of his political troubles in his life comes from he wrote poetry honestly and spoke truthfully. So people accused him of criticizing the emperor, and one time even put him into prison for this reason. But according to Su Dongpo, holding back something and not to speak it out truthfully is like swallowing a fly into his throat. He had to spit it out. Maybe later in his life, he became more careful around strangers, but in front of his close friends, he always remained sincere and genuine. And I think this is very important. Like we said in the last video, I think people should live more real as we grow older, not more fake. And also there are something very stable about Su Dongpo. Even though his life is like chaotic and turbulent, no matter where he goes, he never give up the habit of cultivating himself. He write calligraphies, do painting, do yoga. Yes, he is a yoga fan. And doing health practices. And this kind of stability, I think, is very attractive, especially in today's world. The second person I thought of is actually my grandmother. Last weekend, I went to visit her. She was now in her 80s and living in a nursing hospital because he can no longer eat or move independently. She needs care 24 hours a day now, and she cannot remember things clearly, and sometimes she can't even recognize us. But might I admire my grandmother it's not just because we are family. I admire her is because I genuinely like her as a person. And strangely, I realized she shared many qualities as we just talked about with Su Dongpo. The first one, she's also a person who enjoys life. Her life is actually very difficult too. She was born in wartime in a poor family. She's a little girl who doesn't even know when is her birthday. And she spent her entire life farming and selling vegetables. She never lived luxurious life. But even her life was like that. When I think of my grandmother, I rarely remember her complaining. She was always smiling. And when I was little, she would tell us the mythological stories at bedtime. The stories about fairies and ancient legends. And also she was also very cute secretly. Even in her 60s or 70s, she would secretly buy herself candies. And she will buy herself pink Hello Kitty sneakers. She's just adorable. And the second thing about her is that he's also emotionally very honest. She was very direct. It's like one year, my father and his siblings secretly organized a birthday party for her without telling her in advance. And apparently my grandmother didn't like surprises like that. So when they asked her to blow out the candles, she just literally just refused. And she just pouting and said, "Why did you secretly organize all of this without telling me?" This is the way my grandma was. She was very direct, very emotionally transparent. And the other thing is she also is a person very stable inside. She lived a very simple life. And she always tell us, do not waste water, do not live the life on. And when I was a little kid, I was watching her wake up at 5:30 a.m. every morning and to organize the vegetables to sell in the market. And she will put the baskets on her shoulder and walking ahead of us. And me and my brother will just work behind her on our way to school. It's like this, day after day and year after year. Even like that, she always remembered to comb her hair neatly every single day. A person like this just makes you feel very safe around her, you know, because you know that inside they are steady. So honestly, these two people I talk about today, one from history, one from my life, actually give me very big strength, because they make me realize something very important. Is that even we remain ordinary people our entire life, we never have huge success, we can still become someone others genuinely spend time with, and others aspire to become more like. I think that is one of the most encouraging things I have realized recently. Maybe it can encourage you too. So I will stop here today and see you soon. Bye.